thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk to Caitlin with Story Speaks Enterprises. It was an awesome conversation. Met her through actually joining in on an Instagram live session and just started talking marketing on there, and just said, hey, let's have a conversation. So it was fun to get to know her and what she's doing. And we dive deep into branding and really what that means. The term is used so loosely, and so it's really fun to find someone that's so passionate about the branding side of things, and how we can use distribution or Google ads or Facebook ads to help tell that brand story. And so I hope you enjoy it. If you're into branding, this is definitely the one for you. Leave your feedback and can't wait to hear your thoughts. So how's it going?
Good. Hi, Dustin. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit and chat. So as I mentioned, I'm super interested in what you're all about. As I've been doing the research, you're all about the branding, brand identification, and I think that's huge, and a lot of businesses miss that. So what I'm super interested in is, one, how did you get into this space? How long have you been in this space? And I guess, what is your day-to-day look like? What types of conversations do you have? And would love to just hear more about you.
Sure. Okay. And do the listeners know, I think I should just point out that Dustin and I met on an Instagram live when I was talking about my courses. So I'm Caitlin from Story Speak, and I don't know, I was really excited to be on here because Dustin is so into marketing and branding, and it seems like he's really wants to help people out and put the right information out there. So on that note, well, what I'm all about is, it's interesting. My perspective on branding is a little different than most people because I started as a writer. So
Nice.
Initially coming out of the gate, I've worked for corporate marketing since 2014.
On the business side or like at agencies?
No, actually, I started as a blogger, and then it was independent freelance work.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and do like social media marketing and community management.
Nice.
Yeah, and then from there, the bulk of the knowledge I got was gained as a contractor at a biopharmaceutical organization near Boston. And oh my God, it was so cool because they had branding down to a T. Like they were like, I remember I even thought they were like a little crazy. So my role was to like be the gateway for everything brand related. So all the executive sales presentations, the C-level presentations that would be shown to investors and stuff. And like these big wigs would come in and be like, okay, you're going to do this and like revise this. And I want these images to match our branding guide. And this is the Bible. And I was like, okay. And then as I got into it, dude, it's so cool because I got to work with their communications department and alongside their designers. And I saw how they did it and how literally they set themselves up for success from the ground up, all because of a simple manual they had for branding.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's huge when everyone's on the same page. I mean, it just looks more professional. You look like a brand, and there's nothing worse than seeing discoloration or two different colors, or just not being cohesive in the brand itself. It makes you wonder how they operate as a business. And so it's awesome.
So then I continued writing for myself because I knew I was tired of the corporate ladder. So I just eventually left the corporate world, continued for marketing management for a while, but became a full-time writer. And then I realized, oh crap, I can't separate branding from writing. And I was like giving people way more than just writing blogs and whatever. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll consult too. And now I got to the point where I hate writing for other people. And I'm like, I just have to teach branding. I have to do it. I love writing for myself and my business, but hey, Eric. Hey. Oh, it's like a little party. Branding party. What was I saying? Now here I am. I come from a writing perspective. So I see it from all angles where because I'm a writer, I understand the importance of knowing what the audience is thinking in relation to what you're putting out online and how you're presenting yourself. And so now I do the consulting, and the idea is to pass the writing to a team of designers and writers. So we work together to present something that's in alignment with your brand.
Awesome. And is that the tone and the voice of the company, or what exactly is the consulting? Is it you're working with the writing?
I'm so glad you asked. All right, so remember you asked about the process. This is so fun for me. So I created this form where I ask these very like deep, intuitive questions where a lot of people are like, what does this have to do with my brand? And they don't understand it, or they, they're very introspective questions, like making the brand an identity. Mm-hmm. Like, what if your brand had feelings, what would they feel? If your brand had a voice, what would it sound like? So it's really getting into character of the brand, even if it's you as a personal brand. And so that's the process where they submit a questionnaire. Then I go through it and point out that a lot of times when these people fill it out, their mindset was in the wrong place. Because they're thinking about how they would like it themselves, but it's like totally out of alignment with the brand or what would attract the people they want to attract.
Yep, and that's something I've noticed when it comes to like small businesses and stuff. It's owners are so into what I like and not what my audience likes or what my potential customer would like, and it's amazing how many sales are sacrificed because you're trying to appease your own wants and what you think the brand should be, but it's the market, and what you're offering, the market will tell you what everything needs to be. And I loved how you mentioned it's people won't know exactly who their audience is, what they're trying to do, but it's funny because it's when you're talking about business, people forget about the relationship and personal part of it, but it's like as a business, you're asking for someone to take money out, like their hard-earned money, and give it to you. And like most people don't give money to a stranger. So by showing who you are as a brand, by that cohesiveness, by knowing who you're talking to, you're now creating a relationship and just creating less friction. And now people can get a sense of who you are as a person. Your business is a person. And so that's why I love the branding part, is so many people like buy from me, but it's like, I don't want to buy from a stranger. I need to know who you are, what you do. And that's why I'm so huge on the branding part. So I love it.
Beg my pardon, Dustin. As excited as I failed to do research on you. So what's your background? Because you definitely, I can hear it in your voice. You clearly know what you're talking about. So that's amazing.
Yeah, the passion is definitely there. So about 7 years ago, started working as a lead qualifier, base and operator with a third party that worked with Google. So got in, and then kind of, I'm a go-getter, a huge baseball background, and so I had to be number one, and then just moved through the rankings, went from being a lead qualifier to cold calling small businesses, to then inbound, to then working with bigger businesses, to then working with agencies. And when I kind of got maxed out there, I was like, oh, I'd love to work with bigger brands, bigger budgets. And so I kind of ventured off and started working at an agency here in Phoenix. And then worked there for about a year and a half. I wasn't progressing as fast as I wanted to, so then made a change and went to another agency. But basically over the last 7 years, I have a lot of people when they get to an agency or even just a work in life, I'm cool, I'll settle. Not settle, but I like what I do. It's scary to try and learn other things where I get bored very easy. And started out learning paid search, Google search, all the keyword stuff. And then I got to the agency world where then there was video production and display advertising. And I was like, oh, wow, I would love to learn that. And then as I started creating strategy. So basically I would work with the clients and say, here, like they'd give me a budget, and then I would have to then create strategy. Here, you have $100,000 a month. Cool. We're going to spend X amount on search, this on video, this on display, and then everything would get run. But then there was a lack of the analytics side of things. So I was like, wait, if we're pushing all this money and spending all this money for these big brands and we can't show how it's all working together, like I saw it in Google Analytics, but we weren't presenting it that way. And so by creating strategy and actually executing on the different channels, social, video, YouTube, everything, I started testing different things, putting more money towards video, and all of a sudden I'd start seeing people search for the brand more, where when someone's searching for your brand, your conversion rate is a lot better. You just convert a lot better. So I started messing around with different budget allocations and started using the data to see how they started working with each other. And then it was okay, well, everyone's pitching in silos. Hey, this is what we're doing on paid search. This is what we're doing on display. I was like, why don't we bring all of this stuff together and essentially use Google Analytics to build audiences and say, hey, if we're going to reach, and going back to messaging, we'd message the same way, whether it was a first-time user or someone that's purchased from us 7 times. And so I was like, when it comes to relationships, you need to introduce yourself before you start talking about yourself. And so it's like, how can we then start messaging first-time users, get them to the website? Once they get to the website, what are they consuming? Then how can we retarget them with different messaging based off of what they're consuming? All the way.
Interrupt you just for 1 second, because you brought up a really good point. Even before relationships, like the step before you get there, what a lot of people, like you said, so you're working with bigger budgets, bigger companies. There's so many entrepreneurs out there who are successful, who already have their empires. And they're like, usually they're actors and models and photographers and e-commerce drop shippers, like they're everything, right? And they're already millionaires. So they think, I don't need a brand. Like, I am my brand. I'm enough. I'm making money. I'm making millions of dollars. And then I search them online and there's like no website. They have other people who have profiles of them who mention them, but they're not on Forbes or entrepreneur.com.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they were, if you don't have a website, like your brand is your hub to house all of these mentions. And so when I Google someone, I'm like, okay, great. That's great. You're saying all this on Instagram and Facebook, but you have nothing that you self-made, like your website, that is positioning you as a credible authority. You just got all these people to say things about you. And I'm like, I still don't know you. I still can't trust you. And you said trackability. You said something about measuring and tracking.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to have a website and create a brand, because then you can literally track the brand loyalty and the audiences and where they're going.
Definitely.
So much. It's so amazing to hear.
Love everything that you're saying, because it's and cut me off whenever you want, because once I start going, I just get excited and just keep going and going and going.
Interrupted cow. That's what I call it.
But yeah, go like the website. It's crazy how, I mean, if you're posting, like I'll see people posting quite a bit, and if you're doing all this stuff to kind of give an insight of who you are and what you do, your website is so crucial to getting them there, and then really taking a deep dive into what offerings you have, what services you provide, what value you bring. And it's essentially a central hub for everything. So like you have Facebook pixels, you have all the pixels that once you drive them to the website, you can essentially follow people and retarget and really build a relationship across whatever channels they're on. And so it's amazing how little of attention websites get. It'll definitely change as digital just gets bigger. I mean, I think just recently digital surpassed traditional in terms of marketing budgets. So it's amazing that it's still pretty much here and here, people spending as much on TV and radio as they are on digital. And I mean, there are those outlets, but you can't track that. You can't see, like, it's all about the ROI for every dollar that you're spending. And I think just on a digital perspective, the ROI is so much greater than the traditional marketing side of things.
Interrupted cow. So also, it's so crazy. I made my first report, which is linked to a YouTube video I have. And I always thought branding was this creative thing, because at that biopharmaceutical company, it was, I worked more on the creative side, the marketing department. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing research and I'm like, oh shit. So these financial consulting companies and these, they're really big branding agencies, but the ones who deal like you do with the actual, the more nitty gritty, the more technical analytics and track everything. Mm-hmm. Like once you already have an established brand, they're not on the stock market and things like that. They actually measure the value of a brand based on brand loyalty. So a lot of people think it has to do with the sales and everything. And yeah, sure. But the reason a brand is worth more, or a business worth more, is literally directed to how long people are willing to work with you. And it's so interesting because on this fast-paced market, everyone is just worried. Okay, see, I hate sales funnels. Like, I hate them. I know they're necessary, but so many people are like, I get bullshit on my site because people who think they know things are like, your site is not making sales. And I'm like, yeah, it's generating relationships though, and it's positioning me as an authority, and it's long-term content. Exactly. Tammy Kling, who is the TEDx, like the TED Talk speaker, she complimented my website. So to me, I was like, wow. And granted, yes, I'm not making sales directly off my website yet, but I'm making sales based on everything else that I'm doing.
You're building relationships.
Position me as an authority figure to back what I'm saying.
Exactly. You're building relationships, and eventually the more relationships you build, it creates networking, it creates opportunity, and the revenue will come. It's funny because if you're getting a lot of people saying that, you're doing something right, because everyone chases today's dollar and forgoes the thousands that could be, in the future. And it's amazing how many people, and the cost of a new customer is so much more expensive than sustaining someone. And it's amazing how many people focus on that first time sale and everything like that. And going back to the loyalty thing, how many decisions are made when it comes to a paid marketing budget when it's like, for example, if it's a restaurant, okay, well, we got a $30 order online, but it costs us $30 to get that sale. Most people would cut that, but it's like, okay, well, if it's a first-time customer, how many times are they going to come back? What are you doing to get them to come back? And fail to realize the lifetime value of a customer and building that relationship over the course of a long period of time.
Yeah, and that's where I come into. So I'm obsessed with Gary Vee. Do you like Gary Vee?
Oh my God, yeah. Everyone's laughing here.
Oh my God. Well, I love him because he's all about long term. And so what I do is, I mentioned the consulting piece, but once people go through the process, they have the option of either continuing just consulting or getting packages, which is really cool because I'm a writer. And most of my writing was I was not like a sales copywriter. I was more of a writer for the publishing industry to bring attention to certain issues and create relationships with people and engage audiences for long term. So I create campaigns that are built around long-term reputation and what I call legacy branding, where, it's awesome to create content that will literally be around forever. And no matter how far away in the future someone looks at it, you can read it and be like, oh, that company is like this is someone I want to work with. This is someone I admire. This is someone who knows what they're talking about. So what I do is my team and I pitch articles to, like key places on the internet. And we also network with other businesses, entrepreneurs, and influencers to get them to leverage other audiences without having to build their own subscriber list. So the people that I'm working with, I would help them reach out to people, help them develop the relationships, because a lot of people just don't know how to develop relationships through the internet anymore.
I was just gonna say, it's digital networking is what it is. Yeah. And you can. The beauty about that is in person you only have so much time. With the power of digital, you can do it at scale, and that's the beauty about
scale. You grow the audiences with you with your projects, and so a lot of people, like you said, they do branding backwards from the outside in. Like they get the business, and then they think the brand is what they're selling. And then years later, they're like, oh shit, we have to do it over. We've been doing it wrong. So the sooner you grab it, the quicker, And I built my business from Story Speak Enterprises. Like that was the first thing I knew I had this brand. And I was like, the brand is my compass, So, and I've evolved. I've changed my services so many times, but no one knows because I've always put Story Speak Enterprises first.
That's awesome. So what does the company do, like the consulting?
The consulting, writing, and just aligning you for success in all your future projects. Basically, we build audiences for brand loyalty.
Nice.
That's what I call legacy branding, because we position brands to exist long after you're gone.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that is great. I mean, you mentioned, or I've seen the classes that you do. So are these like one-on-one consultation classes, or have you done like recordings and have like a whole course and here's week 1, da 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 da? Or how does that look? 'Cause I've been wanting or thinking about doing the same type of thing, kind of. This is how you build a brand identity. This is how you then, all the way down to trafficking ads and getting analytics going and everything like that. And so I'm curious, is it more on a one-to-one basis, or?
That's a good question. I hope to get there one day. But so the course, right now I only have one course, and it's such a long title. I may have to redo it. How to make your brand worth more money with nothing but a website. When someone's like, there's all these do-it-yourself sites, and you see all these things where it's like, make your website in 1 hour. bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're doing that, you're putting your brand in the hands of a platform. You're not branding, basically. You're not taking the time to present it in alignment with what you're offering. So my course teaches you like exactly what you need, and not to mention whenever you start a website and something new, it takes so long to understand the platform. Like, you have to go through forums, you can get lost in the rabbit hole if you're not tech savvy, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So my course saves a lot of time because it just has 5 lessons. Each lesson is designed to be completed within 1 hour. And it is like just the essentials of what you need, nothing more. But it does offer, you can explore the rabbit holes. I have links to like deeper, but it's building layer upon layer. So you start with a website. I lay out pages, SEO, mission statement, how to create engaging content. Like, it literally tells you what to do. So as long as someone can follow the steps, they'll have a branded website that will be like mine. Not like mine, but, you know, set them up to position themselves as a high value brand that they can use as a model for everything they do online going forward.
That doesn't look like a cookie cutter site that was done in an hour.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because you could tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, especially as more and more templates and all that are being made. Yeah, I mean, it's by seeing that someone takes the time on doing stuff like that, it then goes into, hey, they must take time to produce quality products or services, so they're probably gonna do, like, it goes hand in hand. If it looks like you've done it in an hour, chances are if you skimped on that, what are you gonna skimp on when it comes to working with me? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, it drives me crazy. And like, people aren't stupid. They think people are stupid. Like there's sales funnels and landing page sales content everywhere. So the more sales that you get, the more people you're turning off, and you're just like, it drives me crazy, man. I'm so passionate for this. I'm so passionate for branding. I get.
So what is your I guess your 1-year goal or long-term goals? Where do you want to take what you're doing?
This is another important point you bring up with branding, because this is what I do with clients too. You have to think big as possible. And then everything you do will be in alignment with that vision. So my big goal in a year, all right, so you mentioned the courses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of my things, the reason I developed that course was because I had clients who I was doing exactly what I was doing, teaching this course and giving them the same results, right? Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where I was being asked by so many people, and I was like, this is shit. They need to understand branding for themselves, you know? Mm-hmm. And I got tired of seeing, especially in this day and age where everyone's an entrepreneur and has the ability to do things themselves and make their own money. Like, people need to understand why they're branding, what it means, and what they're actually offering. So I felt like I was stealing people's money and potential for success by not teaching them it for themselves. So my goal is to bring branding and marketing, make it very transparent, like you want to with your courses, to educate nonprofits and entrepreneurs so they can stop hiring consultants, and so they understand the importance of them knowing how to do it themselves. My overall goal for Story Speak Enterprises was to create awareness and raise money for human trafficking victims and addiction recovery. So I've developed Courseneur. What?
I was talking to them. I should have had Dallas there. Have a buddy that he's huge into here in Phoenix. Huge into child trafficking and just raising awareness and all that. So
yeah, cool. Well, so it's really cool is because I knew that, but before I started my brand, all these things started aligning where all these ideas kept coming to me. I'm like, all right, I'm growing. So I have my consulting agency. I have the writing campaigns that go along with it. I'm helping other writers make more money. And then because they're working for me and I'm teaching them how to get, like, I will only, I'm very good at landing long-term clients and like monthly contracted clients. You know, a lot of writers only do it per project. So that's a whole nother thing. But
that speaks a lot about you, though. I mean, that shows that, I mean, you bring great value. I mean, to be able to create that's tough. So yeah, congrats to you.
Thanks. Sorry, this is so long-winded. Let me try to wrap up. So along with the long-term vision of being a platform to promote awareness and fundraising for those causes, human trafficking and addiction recovery, I created Courseneur. Courseneur.com. I have yet to launch it. I did purchase it and I made the website. But Courseneur is a take on connoisseur of courses. So Course in
Gotcha. I like it. I like it.
and what it's going to be is I want to connect with entrepreneurs like you and other people who are passionate for branding and put these courses on the site where nonprofits, it's like an exchange of impact. So nonprofits can purchase these courses or have a membership and they can learn what they need to learn instead of hiring people. Because I mean, I've tried working with nonprofits and they don't want to hire and pay thousands of dollars. And I understand, but a lot of nonprofits also refuse to get the information and educate themselves. So Course is like a solution for that, where entrepreneurs can profit, they can give back philanthropically.
Yeah.
And then the nonprofits can meet entrepreneurs where they're at and get the help they need, but still take responsibility for the nonprofits. So it's like win-win-win. Everything I do in business is a win-win-win.
That's so funny. I was literally, whenever you're about to be done, I was like, wow, you're just creating win-win-win situations. I don't like just win-win. I like win-win. Like when you can bring a community together and everyone wins, that's where value is. And it's sure, it takes time to think through and all that. And the profit isn't as big, but it creates more long-term value. And yeah, everything else follows.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so cool. I feel like it took me a long time to get here, but now I feel like I'm finally in the middle of a circle and like all my things are like revolving around me. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's all together now and I just have to put them out there and connect with the right people to bring it to life. So that's what I'm doing now. That's why I moved to California and it's really amazing. And it's all because of my amazing branding.
Nope. I mean, you could totally hear the passion too. And especially, I mean, I'm not going to say working with nonprofits is what makes like you look great, but I mean the passion and wanting to help, I mean that it just speaks volumes. And you're not doing it because you want the recognition, obviously, but you're doing it because you actually care. And I mean, if you just cared, I mean, doing good is doing good. Like it's the right thing to do. And no, I mean, it's I see where you've come and how you've gotten to be successful because you hear the passion, you hear the wanting to actually help, and you're not doing it just for the money. Like it was awesome to hear. I felt like I was stealing people's money, so you're trying to create a different situation to where people are winning more, and it's not just about the money. Like it'd be so easy to take the knowledge that you have and everything like that and create little e-courses and all this and sell them for hundreds or thousands of dollars and just make quick money and go sit on your beach. But it sounds like you have a passion, and yeah, that's great. I love sharing that because that's essentially my why as well. Is it's just I'm passionate about this because it's the whole marketing and everything. You just have the ability to change businesses, change lives. Business owner, the employees of companies, their potential customers. I mean, all three, you have an impact on how you can change everyone's life. I mean, by showing someone a product or service they didn't even know about, it might help them in their life. And then the business owner, now they're making, more money, and then it's they're able to grow and then hire people that what they're doing that might be their passion to work in that industry. And so it's just, I don't know, to me it's really cool to have the I guess ability to be able to do that and impact others. It's awesome.
A lot of faith. Like it's, I definitely lead with my heart, and I'm thankful. I have like an amazing coach, Adam Markart. If anyone wants to look him up, I think he's like Adam Uncut on Instagram, and he's helped me a lot. But yeah, I'm so happy to meet you because you have the same heart too. So, but about that course newer thing, you should make courses, and we'll connect on that. That'd be amazing.
I would love to. When like a year and a half ago, I was thinking about doing something like that where it's kind of like a community where it's basically do a couple how-tos a week, and then it's a subscription base where based off of what the community wants, you kind of talk about the how-tos, and then as it grows, it's the community can leverage each other. It's cool. It's about marketing, but if someone has an accounting question or how to do this or that, it's basically just creating a community around like-minded people. And I'd love to get back to that. Maybe that's where these courses end up or the direction it takes. But yeah, I love the whole idea of just creating a community where everyone kind of helps each other and creating those win-win-win situations.
Yeah, I'll have to link it somewhere on here. When you put the podcast out, we'll link it to it. That'd be great. What else do you want to know? Well, I have something to tell you that you don't know. So I'm also a musician.
Oh, wow. What instrument?
Guitar and singer.
How long have you been playing for?
I've been playing since I was 12. I was actually offered like a deal when I was 16 but I turned it down because I like wasn't ready. I was like, no. But that comes along with the whole Story Speak Enterprises. I called it Enterprises because I knew I would do so many things under it. So I was like, I need to call it something that I could put my music and writing and business under. So you grow
umbrella company.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. So I'm gonna I should talk about it on here because it holds me accountable. The goal is to put music out, and it's just to promote healing, like again for these people who are in addiction recovery or human trafficking.
That's cool. Are you working with any current nonprofits?
No, but that's the goal. You know, I'm kind of struggling with the whole strategy on that one.
Gotcha.
I'm just kind of putting it out there, and I'm like, okay, put it out and then do it, which is backwards.
I mean, you have your main focus of what you're trying to do, and then I mean, if you put it out there, it's kind of your side hustle, and who knows where it may, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just got to do it. That's the thing. You got to show up fully. And I'm like, I've not been showing up fully because I'm not been putting my music out. And especially a lot of the people I work with now, I love working with artists and like creative people, writers, Etsy shop owners are my favorite. So I realized like if I could be successful in like selling my music, even though I don't want to be, honestly, I don't want to be a celebrity or anything. Oh, unlimited minutes now.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Well, so I'm trying to realize, I'm like, oh shit, I have to match what I teach. So now I really have to hold myself more accountable. So I think that's the biggest thing. Once you get a brand too and grow into your brand, it helps you walk in integrity and realize that you're being watched.
Oh yeah, because then it's once you're putting it out there, it's easy for people to go, wait, I thought you said this a couple months ago. Where'd it go? Why aren't you doing it? And yeah, you're holding yourself accountable by just speaking it out into the world, and yeah, love that.
Being human, like it's okay that we mess up, just like acknowledge it. You know, I feel like some
Yes.
people hide behind their brands, and it's okay to have a brand that's not a personal brand. Just be honest about who you are and like why it's where it is. You know,
it's so funny. That's Eric and I have talked about that, where it's like worked at agencies where it's like people spend more time trying to figure out how to not so much cover up a mistake, but speak to it to where it doesn't look as bad. And I'm like, it just takes more time than just saying, you know what, we messed up. Like, here, we're just going to do it better this next time. This is what we learned. This is how we're going to prevent it. Like, it amazes me how many people just spend so much time on trying to look perfect or try and cover up damn it, I said that and didn't do it. Like, okay, cool. I'm human.
Yeah.
Tomorrow starts tomorrow. Let's do it. Like, it's crazy.
There's someone that says, have you ever heard of a woman named Angie Lee? Oh, she's I guess she's a lot more well known by women entrepreneurs, I guess. But she always says the reason you're not successful is because you're afraid of looking stupid in front of other people. Because yeah. And I totally get it now. I didn't understand it, but actually when you said that, it clicked. I was like, oh, because like if you're moving forward constantly, if you're getting momentum, like you're gonna fall flat on your face because you just are moving forward. You don't have it all figured out.
It's so funny. Going back to good old Gary Vee, that's what yesterday he was talking about is he goes, man, I'm doing 1,000 things and it's like I'm gonna fail. Like it's about not getting caught up on bummer. I disappointed, blah blah blah. Like, okay, it happened. As long as I'm not murdering anyone or doing anything like crazy, it's like as long as your true intent is there. And I mean it's don't get caught up in it. It's life. I mean, I guarantee it within a week or two, everyone's going to forget about what happened. But if you're still dwelling on it, that's 2 weeks that went by that you couldn't now push forward and, just recover from that and actually learn from it. It's amazing how much time is spent on dwelling.
Yeah. And interrupting Cal again. You just reminded me, something I should announce is I decided to start meetups. So I'm in California, I'm in Costa Mesa. I'm going to start a meetup group in Anaheim because it's halfway between LA and Orange County. Nice. And I'm also going to start a meetup group in Reno because I travel back and forth from Reno to here because my boyfriend's there. So.
Wow, my wife is from there.
What?
My wife is from Reno.
What? That's crazy. It's so cool there. I love it.
Yeah, I've only been there once and it was like January. It was cold.
Oh, I know. I love the winter, so it's perfect for me. Like you get intense heat and then intense winters. So it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an Arizona native, so my body doesn't go below 60.
Oh man, can. Sometimes I would love to meet your wife. We should all like meet up in Reno one day. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. That'd be cool. Business trip. Write it off.
Oh, amazing. How much? Hey, Jackie. One of my clients just came on. Jackie. Jackie was the one I was talking to.
Oh, what was it? Last week? Last Saturday, I think.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, about the course. She's the one who actually took the course. She has her own. She's not an Etsy shop owner, but she's my favorite type of client because she has her own all natural products. So she's like hippie vegan mom.
Nice.
I hope Jackie doesn't get offended by that, by my label of her. I don't think she will. Oh man.
So what are you guys doing together?
So Jackie just came on as a consulting client. I helped her. She was the first tester for my course for the Squarespace site. So she used my course to build the Squarespace site and her brand. Now, this was when I didn't have the whole branding focus. So we're just going to start now really honing into her brand purpose and setting up strategy to brand from the inside out, like we were talking about, and grow audiences and leverage loyalty that grow so she can grow into her brand.
And you said they're done weekly?
It sounds like the end of the world.
Sound like the Matrix.
Yeah. It reminds me of that scene in X-Men where they're in the hotel room and the world is falling around them. Oh, it's amazing. We're still alive. Keep that in. What did you ask?
I can't remember. But what I was thinking of, it would be cool to oh wait, you guys are doing this weekly?
Yes.
And then how much longer does it go on for?
That's a good question. I recommend 12 weeks. I mean, it could go on forever because your brain is always expanding.
Yeah, you're always learning.
But I always try to do 12 weeks. I mean, with Jackie, I think I suggested like month to month. But my brain is so big. Like I'm like looking at, like I said, I do legacy brands. So I'm looking into after people die. I'm like
That's a good way to look at it.
So month to month generally, but I recommend 12 weeks minimum. And then, yeah, I mean.
Nice. Well, the reason why I'm asking, it'd be cool to maybe, if she'd be willing to do it, is maybe do like every other week, have a check-in and get like, this is what I've taught, and then she can come in and talk about what she's learned, and then I would love to just hear kind of the progress of what's being made, what's being learned.
I love that you're a total metrics guy, because I really hate metrics.
Oh, I'm 100% metrics and 0% creative, which is why I brought other people on.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's a great idea. I would love that. I'm sure Jackie would love that too, if she's still on here.
Yeah, because I mean, it would, for one, it's just fun to talk about people's progress, but two, I mean, it just bring awareness to everyone. It's like, cool, this is what she's doing. I mean, now people get insight into what she's doing. It might help generate some sales. And then it's, as people can see what you're doing, what's being learned, other people might go, oh, wow, I've had a question about that. And then they reach out to you and yeah, just win. Yep, all about that. And it's, I don't know, I love I guess just documenting the journey, like
oh, that's important, like a case study.
Exactly. This is what I knew here. Look at over the course of 6 weeks or whatever, and then it's like, one, people get insight, they can reflect. This is what I learned, But then you also have content that you can distribute and then show people this is what we did, and then you get the engagement because it's kind of like a little series. Oh, I need to learn. Like, I want to know what they learn next week. Stay tuned. You know what I mean? Exciting.
All right. Think of updates and like metrics as like really boring. So I'm like, but you make it sound fun. What's my percentages this week?
Yep, I love that.
Oh, that's so funny.
So when it comes to branding, I mean, there's things that I have where it's like, I want to tell every client or even everyone I work with, this is something everyone needs to be doing. This is where there's a lack of, and mine is figuring out how to retarget people across all the different channels and how to message like that. No one does it. It's insane. Very few do it. And the ones that do are the Tony Robbins and all the huge brands. But like from a branding side, what is it that you see that you just want to tell every client or just tell the world, like, look, if you just did this, like, you would see some better results?
You need a website. I don't care how many places you're online. I don't care how famous you are, how much money you have. You need your own personal website. That's number one. And I would say number two, you always need to network and have content going out. That's it. That's why I love what I do, because it never gets old and it works for everyone at every level.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, and people think of networking as going to networking events online or using these. I mean, I use like a passive Instagram tool. It sends out comments automatically, but people want the results without having to network, and they're so lazy and they really don't give a shit about people. And so what I do, I use this Instagram tool, BizTalk, and it sends out, it makes the world smaller because you can talk to so many more people. But a lot of people want to use tools like this without having to talk to the people who DM them. And they just want to, like, here, buy from me. How can you help for me? I even have people tell me, oh, you're helping me, but it's not free. Like, yeah, you have to invest in yourself. Like, this is a relationship. And like, clearly you don't care about your business if you're not willing to pay for something that will totally get you $100,000 more in sales from what you're doing.
Yeah. You pay someone else to make a coffee for you at Starbucks. Why wouldn't you want to pay someone that can help you generate more revenue for your own business? This
is what I love what I do too, because it's like, because I call it branding coaching, I have to call it coaching because it is mindset. And branding is not a visual presentation. Branding is a mindset. So I just redid my website, by the way. You should look at it. I think you'll like it. And it says that. But so yeah, the three things I would tell people that, like, listen, you need to do this is have your own website, change your mindset about branding, which you need me for, and continually put out content no matter what level you're at. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you mentioned the website. What's crazy is I don't know how close the stat still is, but like 3-4 years ago when I was working with Google, they mentioned it's like 72% of small businesses don't have a website still. That blew my mind.
When I was making Squarespace sites, oh man, I got torn apart. Let me tell you, I cried a lot because they're telling me, like, you're fucking ripping business owners off. You're putting them to Squarespace, not on WordPress. It's not scalable. And because I care so much about these people, I'm like, am I ripping them off? No. And then, I was like, okay, this is just not my target audience. It's okay. Maybe I'm doing something right because I'm very focused. Yeah. So anyway, and then someone was like, no one needs websites anymore. You just need sales funnels. I was like, oh my God, you're killing the world. You're literally killing people's businesses.
That it's funny. I actually have it in a little queue of podcasts to do. Is one of them is all this talk about sales funnels. Like, what does that actually mean? It's crazy how often that term is just thrown out. At the end of the day, it's just relationship building. Tell them who you are, engage with them, show them what you offer, and then ask for the sale. Like, it's all it is. But people make it sound so complicated and crazy. I guess the more complicated it is, the more you can charge, I guess. So, yeah.
This reminds me of that phrase, fish for men, don't fish for dollars. And so I was talking to my friend, and it's like, the more successful you get, the more deeper into your business you get, and more committed, the more spiritual it becomes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, like, and I'm just going to mention Jesus here, because never have I realized such spiritual truths as until I'm like really trying to start my business. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus was right about this. And like, if you just market your business the same way Jesus marketed himself, seriously, that is branding. I should make a book about that. The Bible is your best marketing tool.
Yeah. Bestseller. Yeah, it is. It is the best-selling book.
Make disciples. Oh my God. I get so much like hate messages after.
It's all fun.
Yeah, it's all fun. I know my heart is fine.
Exactly.
My phone died, so I don't think that live will be published, but I know people tuned in.
How often do you go live? I've actually never done it. Oh, we did it once.
I'm daily on Facebook now and Instagram once, like a couple times a month.
Are you noticing like an impact?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm noticing huge impact. I think going live is, even when I don't know what to say, just showing up makes people take you way more seriously.
Yep.
And then again, you kind of realize, oh, wow, like people really are watching me. Like I really have to do what I say I'm going to do. I really need to come through, and it gives you more momentum and motivation to put your knowledge out there and not just out things. Like before, I was totally worried just about making sales instead of, again, building a brand reputation and like walking in my authority and my true value. And then when you understand the importance of walking in your true value and authority, and then that what you offer is beneficial and is helping people and is unique, it changes everything. So it's like my mindset has completely changed. And I think just by showing up online, it really helped me own my power. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Cause I mean, it does say a lot. Cause I mean, it's everyone talks about going live, but once you're about to hit it, it's like, what do I say? And then, I mean, I've seen people are like, they do it, I can't do this and get off. So, I mean, it does show courage. But I think even more so on the hacking side of things, all the platforms are wanting to be the OTT and be the one that delivers live TV and all that stuff. So I think just in terms of gaining an audience, if you go live, they're just every time anyone goes live, you get notifications. And so I think, yeah, it's a great hack to try and grow an audience. And then, I mean, we're about 75% of a day total in here. But yeah, moving forward, we're going to go live all the time just because I think you can get a lot of good engagement. And I love Q&A. So I'm hoping that once we start doing it more, that there'll just be questions. Oh, how do you do this? And da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, it just creates some good conversations.
I'm so excited for you. Yeah, I'm super stoked.
I'm excited for you. You're the one moving along, doing well. I mean,
who are you? Well, I definitely need your metric skills. So we definitely need to hook up and collaborate somehow.
Definitely would love to. Do you help with copywriting still? Like actual writing or
copywriting, like WRITING? Yes. But I just had to clarify because I'm like copywriting like the C in a circle. No.
Gotcha. I was like, wait, what other copywriting is there?
I'm surprised at what people say or question. Yeah, I do. I just personally, I advise on that now, and I'm like the editor for my agency. So let's say, but I would pass that writing to someone else, but they're like guarded by me. So it's getting the same quality I am, but other people are writing it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I do. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know what I kind of need internally to kind of get to the next level. What is it that are some of the things that you've identified that you're trying to work on now to help you get to that next level, whether it's actual putting budget behind ads, is it enhancing the website, creating more video?
Honestly, it's making sales. Because I relied as coming in as a writer, freelancer, I literally just did this whole rebrand like last week. I just onboarded writers last week. And the reason I was able to get them was because like, I'll be like your finder. A lot of writers I found are not good at making sales and talking to people. Like they love being introverted and type something.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I used to be that person, but I realized quite recently, I had to drop one of my dream clients before moving out to California. I had a dream client. He was like a huge cannabis brand. I realized I hated what I was doing though. And I was not a good fit for them because I hated writing for them. So I passed them to another writer. And I was like, you know what? I love doing this. I love helping writers and getting clients for them. And if I can do this for my own business, like that'd be amazing. Everyone wins. So that's when about 2 weeks ago, I decided I'm going to do that. Story Speak from here on out as an agency. And I'm going to find work for select writers, get them good clients, and we're going to all build our brand value. You know, these writers keep their own websites. They keep their own brands. They just work with me, you know? So I help market them too. But, so yeah, what I'm working on now is selling my services in my agency. And it's really hard because as a freelance writer, you're applying for things all the time and you like win bids. You know, you don't really have to sell so much as you do just apply. It doesn't like take much heart or confidence. So, yeah, I think now I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone and that's what I'm working on.
Nice. Have you thought about like if you have a bunch of writers and everything, I mean, that's huge. Like creating a publishing house or something like that. I mean,
oh, wait, are you asking or did you say?
Yeah, I'm asking, is that like kind of the goal is to create like a publishing house where you guys are just mass producing content for clients and
Well, Well, I'm not a publishing house. That's not my vision, and I'll tell you why. Because I again came from the writing industry, and that's another reason StorySpeak exists, is to kind of raise the standard for the way people view writers. Now, I came from writing from content mills, so what you're describing is like more of a content mill. They don't give a shit about your brand. They just care about money. They just care about the words, and then you attract those businesses who just want content out there, but not the best type of content. So I do very specific types of content. I only work on feature articles. I only distribute feature articles, networking communications, which means sending emails out to people, helping people leverage their networks, showing up in newsletters, and website content. So it's very specific, but it's for a reason. It's because I know what I do works and it's long-term. So I can't be out there like having all my writers do all these types of content, because then I would just be another writing agency. So that's what makes me different, because I build brand reputation with what I do. So I think that's another challenge for me, is because what I offer is limited. So I'm trying to find like these big projects for these writers, and I think what I'm doing is very new, so it's hard. I'm still kind of learning how to present it in the best way.
Yeah. Are you currently putting any money behind marketing, like actual ads?
Mm-mm.
Gotcha. So I mean, I see you go live quite a bit. Have you thought about just like creating a whole reel on basically like what we're doing, and just creating content around it, and then pushing it out there either through email or if you have budget, pushing it through that? And
I totally thought about it. It's just like, so my time is limited and my budget is limited, so I'm like, I don't give it the priority I should be. But yeah, thanks for reminding me. I have to make a marketing plan. So yeah.
Well, after you go live, can't you just download that?
I don't know. This is half the battle with me. I don't know how to use a lot of the technology I have.
Gotcha.
But I think you're right.
That's the biggest barrier, is I don't have time to do that. But there's a lot of things where you're already doing it. It's a matter of just like.
It's just a matter of getting it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's like, I mean, there's a couple cameras here, and then I'm recording this, and then we have the mics recording, and all from this we'll have the video part, and then we'll just rip the audio from it, and there's the podcast. Then have a copywriter, he'll just kind of summarize everything, and then it's like, now you have all three forms of content without having to, all right, we're gonna do the vlog now, okay, now we gotta set time to do the podcast. And it's like, I mean, if you're gonna talk, just record it. And then, I mean, this Zoom thing, granted, I just realized now that you only have 45 minutes on a free subscription, but they allow you to record, and it's cool because whenever you record, after you're done, it downloads a video and then downloads an audio file. So you could have your, like if you're doing your sessions, maybe just record them on Zoom or whatever, and then over the course of 12 weeks, now you have your whole 12-week thing. You can edit it and chop it up and be like, here's little 4 or 5 minute clips, and then get them out there, and people can get insight into what goes on in your classes, rather than, hey, I have these classes, we do this, that like it takes time to talk through it, where you can just, here you go, look at the audio, or listen to the audio, look at the video that we have, and as they consume it, then they'll want to reach out. Now you're not spending time trying to go out and sell people. You're just documenting what you're already doing, and then just throwing it out there, just using a little bit of this technology to figure out how to get it. Because that was my biggest thing, is not having to take time to just produce everything, because it just takes time.
That's a great idea. Yes.
That's essentially my goal with some of these. Like, I mean, as we talk through things, it's like, we'll document it, and if there's something great that comes out, cool, we'll chop it up. But my goal is like, so many times business owners sit in meetings and say the same things over and over and over and over. It's like, cool, let's just document all of our conversations, make sure we just edit it right, and then title it right, and then create a podcast, a vlog, and everything like that, and then just push that. And basically, if anyone asks what you do, you know what, I would love to tell you, but I appreciate your time, so here, check out some of the content that we do, and then they can consume whatever it is that they want. That way, whenever your phone rings, it's hey, I'm ready to work with you, not, hey, I kind of saw you on Instagram, what is it that you do? They've already consumed everything that you've done just because you documented it along the way. And then you don't have to set time aside to produce it. So now you're saving time on the producing side. Now you're saving time on selling, because you're essentially letting your content sell for you. And now you freed up a lot more time to then just do what it is you want to do.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you.
Sweet. And I have a meeting coming up. I will reach out. I would love to, set something up with, was it Jackie?
Yes.
Yeah. If you guys are down, it would be cool to do bi-weekly or weekly check-in and just have a 30, 45-minute talk and just, what do we learn? What do you want to learn the next time? Just kind of reflect. I'm kind of curious because what you're doing is really cool, and I would love to just get insight into what you're doing and really just see how we can just talk through it. I mean, like I said, as we talk through it, you can record it, and there's your content that you can now sell that you don't have to produce.
I would love that. Thank you. That's a great idea. I'll talk to her about it and get back to you. Do I have your email? Yes, I do have your email.
I was just gonna ask. I think I have. Yeah, because I sent you a calendar invite. So.
Yeah. Email Dustin. Yeah, I'll talk to her and let's totally set something on the calendar. That'd be cool. Just like a recurring thing.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't work out, would love to. Yeah, definitely keep in touch because there's a lot that you do that. Yeah, would love to get some of your insights, and I think that there's some good conversations and partnerships that we can create by working together. I'm all about collaboration and working together. I don't know, people focus too much on competition. I'd rather, hey, what do you do better than I do, and what do I do better than you, and how can we bring that together to bring more value to other people?
Yeah,
and amazing.
I seriously need your metrics. Yeah.
See, that I love. I can talk about that all day.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't really put on my site. Like I have visual proof of what I do. You know what I mean?
Do you have Google Analytics on your site?
What?
Do you have Google Analytics on your site at all? I would love to help you out with that.
Actually, I think I do. I just don't, again, I hate dealing with that information. It's not my specialty. What you're good at, you just stick to it. So we'll work something out. I need you.
We need each other.
Oh, that's amazing.